Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media only to feel like you're not good enough? Like everyone around you is achieving more, living a more exciting life, and you're just stuck in the same old routine? You're not alone. We've all been there, constantly comparing ourselves to others and feeling like we're coming up short. It starts innocently enough. You see a friend's post about a new job and you can't help but feel a twinge of jealousy. Or you see a celebrity's perfectly posed selfie and you can't help but think, why can't I look like that? But before you know it, comparison has taken over. You're spending hours on social media, constantly comparing your life to others, and feeling like you're not measuring up. The problem is, comparison is a losing game. When we constantly compare ourselves to others, we start to feel like we're not good enough. We feel like we're missing out on something, like we're not living up to our full potential. And that feeling can be suffocating. It can make us feel like we're stuck in a rut, like we're not moving forward. But here's the thing. Comparison isn't just about feeling bad about ourselves. It's also about how it affects our relationships with others. When we're constantly comparing ourselves to others, we start to feel like we're in competition with them. We start to feel like we need to one-up them to prove that we're better. And that's when things get really toxic. Take Rachel, for example. Rachel was a successful business owner, but she was constantly comparing herself to her friends on social media. She'd see their posts about their new homes, their new cars, and their exotic vacations, and she'd feel like she was missing out. She'd start to feel jealous, and before long, she'd be posting her own updates, trying to one-up them. But the more she posted, the more she felt like she was losing herself. She was spending all her time on social media, comparing herself to others, and it was taking a toll on her relationships. She was feeling anxious, depressed, and like she was stuck in a never-ending cycle of comparison. That's when Rachel realized something important. Comparison steals confidence and happiness. When we're constantly comparing ourselves to others, we start to feel like we're not good enough. We start to feel like we're not living up to our full potential, and that feeling can be suffocating. But here's the good news. We have the power to break free from comparison. We can start by taking a step back from social media and focusing on our own personal growth. When we focus on ourselves rather than comparing ourselves to others, we start to feel confident and happy. It's not about comparing ourselves to others, it's about being the best version of ourselves. When we focus on our own growth, we start to see the world in a different light. We start to see that everyone is on their own journey, and that comparisons are just a waste of time. Take Emily, for example. Emily was a young artist who was feeling stuck in her career. She'd see other artists work online, and she'd feel like she wasn't good enough. But then she realized something important. She was comparing her beginning to someone else's middle. She started to focus on her own growth rather than comparing herself to others. She started taking classes, practicing her craft, and learning from her mistakes. And before long, she was feeling confident and happy. She was creating art that she loved, and she was sharing it with the world. The key is to focus on your own journey rather than comparing yourself to others. It's about being the best version of yourself, rather than trying to be someone else. When we focus on our own growth, we start to see the world in a different light. We start to see that everyone is on their own journey, and that comparisons are just a waste of time. So, the next time you find yourself scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to others, take a step back, take a deep breath, and remember that comparison steals confidence and happiness. Instead, focus on your own personal growth. Learn from your mistakes, practice your craft, and be the best version of yourself. Because when we focus on our own growth, we start to feel confident and happy. We start to see the world in a different light, and we start to realize that comparisons are just a waste of time. So let's make a pact to focus on ourselves, rather than comparing ourselves to others. Let's make a pact to be the best version of ourselves and to celebrate the unique journey that we're on. You are worthy of love, respect, and happiness, no matter what your social media feed says. You are enough, just as you are. And when you focus on your own growth, rather than comparing yourself to others, you'll start to see the world in a different light. You'll start to feel confident and happy, and you'll realize that comparisons are just a waste of time.